Good afternoon everyone, my name is Simon Deprez and it's with pleasure and honor that I present to you today a video presentation of my research work carried out as part of PhD in Education Science under the direction of Madame Rodika Alinkai and Mr. Alain Mugnot at the Pacific Doctoral School. So I'm member of the ESCO Research Unit, Traditional and Contemporary Societies in Oceania, at the University of French Polynesia. I will offer you an academic presentation while being dynamic. To begin with, I will present my personal data. First, my education. In 2006, I obtained a bachelor's degree in education and humanities, option social work and social inclusion at the University of Lille 3 in France. Then, in 2008, I passed the school teacher contest at the UFM of French Polynesia. After, in 2016, I have completed a master's degree in remote research of childhood and youth literature at the Faculty of Arts at the University of Artois in France. And finally, this year I started a PhD in Education Science. Well, now let's go to my work experience. From 2009 to 2013, I was headmaster of the school in Amanu and Nukutavake in the Tuamotu archipelago. Since I am a school teacher in Morea in different schools, Hapiti, Papetoai, and today Pau Pau. Now, let's focus on my research. My work is in line with the research of Michel Tozzi and Edwige Chirouté. My topic is Polynesian youth literature and bilingual philosophical discussion. Thus, this presentation consists of three parts. Firstly, the context of my research, then the problem and the method, and to finish the expected results. Now, we will present the context of my research. The Polynesian population overcame painful episodes, colonizations, nuclear tests. In addition, it has undergone a policy of cultural assimilation, referred to Paya, Salon, and Venodon 2016, which has resulted in a decrease in the intergenerational transmission of Polynesian languages. School failure, dropout, widening of gaps, poverty, delinquency, alcohol, and drugs are the ill of Polynesian society. After generations of monolingual linguistic imperialism and symbolic violence, today the school institution promotes multilingualism, referred to Venodon 2018. This research is motivated by curiosity, the need to better understand and better meet the needs of the Polynesian education system. In fact, in the multilingual Polynesian school, what is the meaning of the quest for knowledge and truth? Namely, culture and reading are part of the aspiration of mankind, which gives meaning to life. This study is a qualitative and exploratory research. The experiment will take place in Morea, in class of year 1, because it's the entry into learning to read and it's a gateway class. Initiating philosophical discussions at school from works of youth literature is possible, referred to Chirouté 2011. In addition, the school institution recognizes the interest of these practices. See the programs 2015. This research is innovative by parental involvement as well as its literary and linguistic dimension Polynesian. Discussions can be in French or in Tahitian because the aim is rather to develop cognitive abilities using the language as a tool, referred to Vygotsky 1935. Now we will focus on my problematic. My problematic is how would the practice of philosophical discussions from Polynesian youth literature stimulate the group's cognitive abilities? Now, We will focus on the method and the analytical instruments. A corpus of Polynesian youth literature will be selected according to specific criteria: tales, legends, or albums of the society's archipelago, bilingual works or which contain a certain degree of language mix, works adapted to class of year 1. Parents will be invited to come and read a work in class and participate in the discussion. Using endogenous teaching aids, stories, legends, proverbs make it possible to answer a cultural transmission and a pedagogy more adapted to the pupils. In addition, the endogenous youth literature generates strong cultural stakes and authenticity in the pedagogical relationships and a quest for meaning in relation to knowledge. Refer to Cola 2016. I will present you a book. The title is Arii, the Moon Parrotfish, written by Annie Sauce and illustrated by Karen Cherry. To begin with, the summary of the story. A little boy has fun disguising himself as a parrotfish while his father is fishing. He decides to jump in the water but may drown. His dad saves him. It is therefore a fishing story that will facilitate the process of identifying children. Indeed, they will easily talk about their personal and family experiences. This book, in Tahitian language, offers a Polynesian atmosphere reflecting the island philosophy, facing the ocean. The story recounts situations of daily life in French Polynesia. After working on understanding the text, what philosophical extension can we give to this work with class of Year 1 students? This is to ask a philosophical question related to the text read. Indeed, in this story, the little boy goes from laughter to tears. Thus, we can ask students, why does the character cry? And you, why do you cry sometimes? How did he feel in the water? What emotion did he feel? He was afraid. And you, what are you afraid of? In fact, what is fear? The discussion is launched. The education of a child does not stop at the door of the school. Why involve parents in philosophical discussions? The education of a child does not stop at the doors of the school. The families have an essential educational role. Indeed, there is a significant correlation between the school failure of children and the disinterest of families. The raving of a bond of trust between the actors of the school institution, and the parents is fundamental. Parental involvement in educational and pedagogical project is necessary, compared to Malol 2010. Parents will value by their cultural and linguistic skills. What is the point of bilingual discussion? During the discussions, the root language brings an emotional dimension that could release the student's speech differently: intensity, frequency, depth. Indeed, one of the hypotheses of this research is that according to the language used during the discussion, the students' comments will be different. What is a question philosophical? 3 criteria are important, refer to Tozzi 2003. The first is the universality of the question. The universality of the question. That is to say that the question can concern everyone, regardless of its origin, social status, age, culture. Second, the question must create possible controversy. This is not a closed question where it is possible to answer yes or no. Thirdly, this question is formulated, debated, argued, and discussed orally. What are the intellectual requirements related to philosophical discussions? How to evaluate students? 3 requirements of philosophers referred to Tozzi. Students must problematize, find in the question what is controversial. Example, do we all have the same fears? And in the second time, conceptualize. That is to say, define the notion, fear is, and finally, argue. That is to say, justify his words. Now, the method the method and analytical instruments. A work of understanding, interpretation will be followed by a discussion with philosophical aim. The sessions will be recorded, linguistic transcription of exchanges, study of corpus, cognitive interactions, analysis according to the taxonomy of Bloom, process of thought at work. Semi-directional interviews with parents and oral questionnaires to students will be conducted. Now, the expected result. To conclude, we will concentrate on the expected result. This research is being ventured into unknown tracks, where success is not guaranteed. It may seem that some works of Polynesian literature will allow philosophical reflection in the classroom, that this discussion will develop the learning of philosophers, reading, and oral language. In addition, parental involvement will facilitate an additive bilingualism. Here my video presentation ends. I would like to thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your attentive listening. Do not hesitate to contact me by email on the address that appears for any question or clarifications. I will answer you with the greatest pleasure. Thank you.